terrorism was the offshoot of the Pakistani policy of 1,000 cuts, which got momentum because of the separatists and the partial success that they had achieved. The foreign terrorists came with the idea of fighting a jihad, of freeing the area from the Hindu yoke, so-called. And the first thing that they did, as you know, was to Islamize the place by throwing out the Kashmiri Pandits. They had thought that once the Kashmiri Pandits go out and there is this separatist voice which is coming over there, it will create a massive movement, and within about 6-7 months of all this happening, Kashmir azad ho jayega. Nothing of that sort happened. The Kashmiri Pandits left the valley. The army started, and the security forces, they started challenging the terrorists. There was a lot of bloodshed. The army suffered a terrible amount of casualties, but the local people of Kashmir were not ready to, get on to Pakistan. So that movement actually failed. Now, what happened when the movement failed was that, the Kashmiri Pandits whom they wanted to send out and the Islamization that they wanted to do, it had already taken place. But the terrorists had nothing much to do. And they were told that now create a situation where it becomes very difficult for India to retain this place. So they became indiscriminate in their killing. Whether it was a Muslim, whether it was a Sikh, whether it was a Buddhist, a Shia or Sunni, they started killing all of them. The foreign terrorists who had come from outside, they took over the local tanzeems. They made themselves the divisional commanders. They wore those Afghan caps and their big dadis, and they used to look like heroes. And they took over as the divisional commanders, and they started trying to suppress the population in Jammu and Kashmir, in all those areas which were under the yoke of terrorism, in a very bad manner. They wanted assistance, so whoever would not give them assistance was called the Mukhbir, and the reprisal and the killing was very, very brutal. So it was a reign of terror, which these people, they unleashed on the very community that they had come to assist and to free from the so-called Indian yoke. So the brutality of terrorism in the areas of south of the Pir Panjal was of a degree which was much more than what was seen in the Kashmir Valley. Area south of the Pir Panjal means Doda, Riyasi, Kishtwar, Rajouri, Poonch, which had a mixed population of Hindus as well as Muslims. There was selective ethnic killing over there. One thing which comes into my mind is the Kulhand massacre, which took place. 22 Hindus were killed in that Kulhand massacre. And then there were people whose families were totally killed. There was a Ram Singh of Gul and there was a Mangat Ram of Poonch, whose complete families were killed. It was indiscriminate. When I was there in Northern Command in 2003, there was a girl called Mariam Begum. Mariam Begum, obviously a Muslim girl, her brother had been a terrorist and he wanted to get away from terrorism, so he had run away from the group with a weapon. The group went to their house and they captured both Mariam Begum and her father and took them into the jungles, saying that, look, as long as he doesn't come back and we don't kill him and we take our weapon back, you are going to be with us. I'm telling you, this has happened in front of me. I know Mariam Begum personally. They mistreated that girl in the most horrendous fashion for almost a year, or for almost a month, and then they were encircled by an army patrol. When they were encircled by that army patrol, they could not run that much fast, so they left the girl over there, they cut her nose and they cut her hair. And that is the condition in which Mariam Begum was found by the army. That girl was brought back to Udhampur and she was put into the army hospital over there, and a reconstructive surgery was done to her. And this matter was then also, of course, we sent this matter to the Geneva Convention and things like that as one of the very, very close signs of the barbarity of the terrorists and the fact that they were so indiscriminate in their killings. So this is the entire gamut of the terrorism and separatism and how it has been operating over there with foreign assistance, with foreign sponsorship, with a weak ideological base which has become self-serving over the years. A word about the countermeasures. One thing has to be very, very clear, that the counter-terrorist operations in Kashmir are some of the most successful operations of this nature ever carried out in the world. The degree of force with which the terrorists came over there and the manner in which they were dealt with over 2 decades, it does not have any parallels in any history of violence in the world. But the Indian army was successful only because it had the complete support of the people. And the people were the Muslims.